Okay guys, we're still out here on the Appalachian Trail. We are south of Uncle Johnny's. This is my buddy CJ who's out here helping us. He got a setup here you probably have never seen. He's got a camper shell for this brand spanking new truck, but it's not what you're looking for. We're waiting for it to come in. It'll be here on the 26th. And of course you've probably seen mine. It's the one that doesn't fit the truck. And we're going to try to get another truck here pretty quick in a month or two and get one that fits our truck. So we'll be matching maybe during the year. And I've got a thru-hiker here with us today, and she's been hanging around us, and I'm going to just kind of go up here and sit down across from her, and we're going to ask her some questions and try to get to know a little bit about her. Give us your trail name and anything you want to tell us at first about yourself.
My name is Ibex. I'm a flip-flopper. I'm from Virginia. Still loving the trail, but I've got about 300-something miles to go, and I'm getting excited to be done.
How'd you get that name?
My friend gave it to me, actually. I started with two of my friends from Virginia. They got me started my first week, and I started near the Roanoke Triple Crown, and when we were coming down the north face of Dragon's Tooth, anyone who's done that knows it's really rocky. It's almost like being in the White Mountains. You're kind of scrambling. So I got it there because I didn't fall down at all going down that. But I always say that it's kind of an ironic name because I do fall down a lot in other circumstances. Unlike a mountain goat. And
tell them that's what it means. For you out there, I didn't know I had to look it up. It's a mountain goat.
It is, yeah.
And I think there's more in other countries than in the United States, I think I read maybe.
Yeah, I think there's like a European one and an African.
Yeah, some of them's got big horns and all that.
Yeah.
You don't have any horns?
No, I don't.
No, you got the same legs, huh? When did you start, Ibex?
I started on April 10th.
And you started by yourself, or you said somebody started with you?
Yeah, I started with my two friends, Jamie and Jenny.
Were they going through hike or just section hike?
Nope, they were just section hiking to see me off. Okay,
and you said how many miles you got left?
I've got, I think it's like 330 from here.
Okay, you usually know that every day, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a numbers person, so I usually keep track of it.
All thru-hikers seem to be a numbers person, especially when they get this close.
Yeah.
Did you think you'd ever get this close?
I didn't know, and I didn't even want to speculate about it when I started. I hoped I would, but I kind of just wanted to see how far I could get. And as luck would have it, I've gotten this far at least.
It's getting real, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm starting to kind of think about my summit date and how I want that day to go.
I talked to somebody just a little while ago in front of you, and she'll be on one of the interviews near you, and I asked her if she thought she would have any emotions at Springer at the plaque. How about you?
I think I will. I kind of think it's not going to sink in until I'm off the trail, and I've been off the trail for a while, that it's really done. But even summiting Katahdin, and I was only 2/3 of the way done, I got kind of emotional because I was like a big leg of the journey done, and it was a big deal for me to even make it that far because I honestly didn't know if I would.
I think it'll get emotional for you. Most people say they don't think they will, and after I talk to them after, say, golly, I didn't think I would, but that's a big deal. I mean, this is a big deal. And I'll say congratulations to you already for what you've done, and I know that you're going to finish, and I'll say congratulations when you complete it too. What's been the hardest part of you being out here?
Man, there's been a lot of hard parts, but I think what I struggled with the most is the last few weeks when I was up north getting ready to flip. Because I started kind of early in the season. Most flip-floppers start like later in May, and I started in April. And because I started that early, everyone that I was hiking with and was friends with were true Nobos from Springer. So as we were getting closer and closer to Katahdin, they're getting all excited and getting really focused, ready to finish the whole hike. And I was excited and kind of sharing in that emotion, but I couldn't fully participate in that because I'm a flip-flopper, and I knew that I still had to come south, and it's always sort of felt like the finish line keeps moving further and further away, even though it's technically getting closer. So that has been a little bit tough at times.
And you and I have talked about that, and then, and I'll say a little bit later in our interview probably about how our relationship got involved, but you and I have been talking some about that because I want to learn as much as I can about flip-floppers so I can help other people make the right decisions. And, when you say that, it just sinks into me that you've established relationships for hundreds of miles with people, and then they're going home,
Right.
and you've got a lot left to do.
Right.
And that has to be very emotional, and it's got to be draining mentally, thinking about how many more miles you've got left. So I think you told me before that was a tough time, and I can understand it more today than I did a few days ago after I've thought about that. So that would be a disadvantage of a flip-flopper in my mind, if I'm listing them on the paper, disadvantages versus advantages, that you get attached to those people and you really wish you would be finishing with them, but you're not. Is that a true assessment?
Yes, absolutely. It's
Okay.
probably the hardest thing about it.
I'm going to go off subject a little bit back and forth, but what if you could have anything in the world to eat in an hour from now, dropped from a helicopter, what would you choose?
I recently have developed a very passionate love for shredded wheat.
Shredded
I
wheat?
would have a big bowl of shredded wheat with blueberries.
Wow. We got some cereal, but it's not shredded wheat, and we don't have any blueberries. That's interesting, a very interesting answer. I don't think I've ever got an answer for cereal as getting anything you could want out here. I'll have to put that down and see if anybody ever tops that, but you probably have topped that on that question. What is the thing that you miss about home out here more than anything? Just the relationships, or is it animal? You know, and I may give the answers away. I said that, and for a long time, the answer always was an animal.
Okay. Well, I don't have any pets. I don't want to say that I don't miss anything. I miss my friends, my family, the comforts of home, but I don't feel, I guess I've always felt that I'm gone for 6 months, but I've always been aware that that's a temporary thing. So it's never really bothered me as much because I still keep in touch with my friends, my family, and in some ways I feel closer to those people because it's more of an effort for me to be able to talk to them now, and I appreciate that more, and they've all been really supportive of me. So I don't so much miss being home as I appreciate it while I'm gone.
Okay. What have you learned about yourself being out here, do you think?
Well, I guess I always saw myself in the past as someone who needed a little bit of stability and predictability in life, and there's not really anything predictable when you're out here, and it hasn't been a problem for me, so I guess I learned that I'm a little bit more adaptable than I thought I was.
And what are you looking forward to the most after the trail?
I'm looking forward to doing a lot of sitting and laying and taking showers.
Letting your feet heal?
Yes.
Letting your body heal? I know my wife Sherry, when she thru-hiked, I think she said it was 6 months before she felt her toes on her feet.
That's what people say.
Yeah. Now, family, sisters, brothers, I hadn't asked you about your family. Do you have sisters or brothers?
I have one older brother.
Older brother?
Jess, he lives in Boston. I did get a chance to hike with him once when I was passing through Massachusetts. He came out and spent a 0 day with me, and then we went over Greylock together.
What's he think about little sister out here doing this?
Well, he is, or formerly was, a personal trainer, so he's always been the more physically adept, stronger, fitter one between the two of us. So it was kind of fun to show off my awesome calf muscles.
I was going to say, he probably wouldn't make it as far as you've made it. A lot of people that are in that are long-distance runners or even military have seen, a lot of them have less successful rate than other people, and I don't understand that because, you know, they're usually a lot better fit before you start hiking out here. When you first started planning, how long ago would that have been?
I started seriously planning for it in 2016, so it was about a 1.5 year process.
And would you do it the same way, watching YouTube and reading as much as you can, or what?
Yeah, and I didn't really even watch a lot of YouTube or read people's blogs.
Okay.
Just my personality, I've never been able to get as involved in that kind of stuff. Similarly, I like to play sports, but I don't like to watch sports. But I did do a lot of reading, a lot of research about gear. I think I would do it pretty much the same if I had to do it all over again. I probably would do a little bit more research before I bought big gear items like my backpack, which is way too big and super heavy, and I just didn't know enough when I bought it. So I might be a little bit more methodical next time.
And I don't know if I asked you on camera, I know we talked offside. Why did you choose a flip-flop versus a northbound or southbound?
Well, I'm an environmental scientist, and the environment is really important to me, and ATC kind of brands the flip-flop as a way to disperse hikers and make less impact on the trail.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was more important, the ability to still do this hike but not feel like I was degrading the trail more than I needed to for future hikers. That was more important to me than starting at point A and ending at point B.
Did you quit a job to come out here, or?
I did, sort of. I did. I was working for the U.S. Geological Survey.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to work, we used to do some work for them on their boat motors and all.
Oh, cool.
And CJ and I used to do that.
Yeah.
And will you go back to that type of work?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, you've talked a little bit about maybe some other options.
Right. I think I'm going to take some time to kind of settle back into the real world and just explore different things. Maybe explore the private sector a little bit.
Any other plans to do any other hikes?
Not currently. I've definitely toyed with the idea of doing another long distance hike, probably the PCT after this. It's kind of hard to think about it right now because all I can think about is my sore feet and
Yeah.
you know, how nice it would be to take a break for a while. But I think once I've been off the trail for a little bit, I can start thinking about maybe in the distant future doing another long trail.
How about your favorite hostel?
Probably Caratunk House.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's really
Good
really
food.
enjoyed staying there. Good food.
Good food.
It was hard to take a 0 day there because it was literally like 48 hours of smelling delicious pulled pork all the time.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
tough.
He's famous for that pork
Oh, it's so
and
good.
barbecue sandwiches and all.
It's so
Now,
good.
what's another one or two hostels that you've stayed in that you can remember?
Well, I haven't stayed in all that many. I stayed in Caratunk House. I stayed at the Notch in Woodstock. That one's really nice. It's very clean and lovely. I stayed at Four Pines.
Yeah.
And I stayed at Woodchuck Hostel in Damascus.
Yeah.
And I think
That's
those
about
are the
it.
only 4 that I've been in so
Wow.
far.
Wow. That's not very many. That's not very many at all.
Right.
Had you planned any of those stops before getting on the trail, or it just happened as you walked?
Just happened as I walked. I didn't really get into planning where I was going to stay before I started the hike. I just kind of figured it out as I was going.
Okay. Now, the girl, we just talked to a girl, you just saw her. How many people have you been seeing lately on the trail while you're hiking that are true thru-hiker or attempting a thru-hike this year?
Since I flipped south, not many. I would say maybe I'm averaging seeing 1 thru-hiker every 3 days. I didn't see any today. I don't think I saw any yesterday. It's pretty quiet out here right now in terms of thru-hikers.
I'm gonna just say a little bit about how you and I met. You met Lotus and PT and some of the other ones that I helped down in the beginning, and we stayed in touch all the way to Maine. And while you were with them, they began to put you on video. I saw you on some of the videos, and they began to talk about you. And then I contacted them and talked to them, and they told me that I ought to try to catch you maybe and see if we could help you. So I contacted you, and you was open to that. And so we met you just south of Damascus. CJ and I here, my buddy CJ. But before we came out, how far back was very much trail magic? North of Damascus.
I don't think I got any north of Damascus on my southern leg. I got quite a bit when I was in Maine.
And we talked about that, and I want us to talk about that. And you tell me what you said about that, about why you think you got that.
The trail magic
Yeah.
up in Maine. Well, I
With
I
the
don't know if
other,
you
with
did
the with the northbounders,
but
being with the northbounders, maybe gave you an opportunity because those people were looking to do trail magic for northbounders, you know, say true northbounders, and you were with them at the time.
Right.
So they had a lot of followers that was trying to come out and see them.
That's true.
And you benefited from that.
That's true. And I think I was also just starting to be with the bubble as I was getting further north. And
Right.
so probably more people target that time to do trail magic because it has the most benefit.
Right.
And I will say I haven't had trail magic in terms of I haven't come to a road crossing and there's been water or food or anything like that left, but I have had some very nice trail experiences that you might call trail magic. In
Well, yeah,
terms of,
any-
like a woman picked me up at, I was trying to get into Troutdale, which is not a
Yeah.
great hitch because it's such a quiet
Yeah,
road.
those
and-
be small town, yeah.
yeah, and maybe 2 cars went by, and one of them happened to be Marie, who was a traveling nurse, and she's not even from the area. She didn't know her way around at all, but she stopped anyway and picked me up, and we figured out how to get to the resupply, and she waited for me and let me eat lunch and get my resupply and took me back to the trail, which I think is kind of trail magic.
That's
There's
absolutely
nobody
trail
else
magic.
that, you know, someone's
Anything.
gonna
I mean, even somebody stops and, you know, gives you a lift up to the store. Anything that helps you would be considered trail magic. And it could be any kind of help that you can think of.
Right.
All of your gear you said worked well. You know, I heard you say your pack, but did you have to buy any extra gear since you've come out?
I upgraded my rain system. I started with this giant lime green poncho that covered my entire body, and it was big enough to go over my pack and still come down halfway over my shins, and it looked absolutely ridiculous, and it was really inconvenient and uncomfortable and heavy. I don't know why. I can't remember why I decided that that was a good idea, but I really thought that it was a great idea when I started. But when I was getting closer to the whites, I didn't want to be going through the whites where it could be really rainy and potentially windy up there with this ridiculous poncho, so I got a proper rain jacket and a rain cover for my pack, and it's way better.
How many days you think you've hiked in the rain?
We were talking about this the other day. It's hard to say, and I want to go back through my blog at a later date and kind of tally up the days, but I guess it has to be at least 30 or 40.
The guy I mentioned up in Connecticut, he said maybe 10. I said, oh, I think you've lost count.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
no
easy
way.
to edit it out a
Yeah,
little bit.
I don't think it's been, I think it's been a lot more than
Right.
10 days out there. The people that you know around you that's been hiking south, or when you even started, how many of those people that you call flip-floppers that stopped hiking and went home? Did you see very many of them around you or meet very many?
There weren't too many flip-floppers when I started, and then I kind of hiked through the flip-flop bubble in May because I got through Harper's Ferry just as they were starting. I don't know the fate of a lot of them. I think a lot of them did not make it,
Okay.
but I did end up seeing some of them, like River and Puddles were two
Yeah,
that I
we met
at
'em.
that time, and then they were just getting started, but through a variety of circumstances, I ended up running into them again in New Hampshire and crisscrossed with them a lot, and I guess they must be in this area.
Yeah, they're behind you. Actually, they're south of the Shenandoah,
Cool.
because River's contacted me the other day, River, and she wants some information about the Smokies, and we're going to try to slack pack Puddles next week, try to catch her and see that. Okay, I've been asking the last, I guess, 4 or 5 interviews I've been doing, especially when I talk to a woman. I ask them this question. I want to see what you're going to say. How big of a gun are you carrying?
So small that you can't even see it.
How many people ask you that, family, friends, or whatever, when they found out you was hiking, ask you if you was going to hike with a gun?
I definitely had some friends and family strongly encourage me to carry a weapon, some jokingly and some not.
How safe do you feel out here?
I feel very safe out here. I feel safer on the trail than I do walking through a city by myself. I'll put it that way.
Okay. And if a woman is watching this, thinking about doing the thru hike, give me the one piece of advice that you would recommend to her.
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because you can.
Okay.
Just believe in yourself.
Did you give very much thought to a budget?
I did. I started saving more seriously for the hike around this time last year. And I kind of had some good luck with my job, and it's too complicated to explain in this video, but I got some good luck and a raise that really helped me to save for it a lot faster than I thought I would. And
do you think it's important for people to take that serious in their planning?
It is, because you come out here thinking, I'm just going to be living in the forest for 6 months. I don't have rent in my case. How expensive can it be? But it can add up if you don't watch out, and you want to have enough money that you can replace gear if you need to. You can stay in town if you need to, because you just don't know what's going to come up. And I think money is definitely one of the big reasons that people end up getting off trail.
I agree, totally agree, and I try to bring it up in a lot of my videos because I think people need to realize how important that is to have and not only to complete a hike, but how fun of a hike you can have, or how miserable a hike you can have if you don't have the resources to go and enjoy some other parts of it. Anybody you want to say hello to out there, or an encouragement or anything like that, or anything else that you want to share with us about your experience out here?
Sure, I would love to say hello to my parents and to Jess, and also to Lotus. Hope you're all doing great. Yeah, to anyone who is on the trail right now in my general area, come find me, because it's quiet out here and I would love to see you.
And you don't have a lot of days left. You're doing 28, 25, 27 miles a day, and you're shooting for somewhere around the 20th or 21st, I think, of October. So the days are definitely counting down for you. Well, we enjoyed meeting you, and CJ's sitting right here beside me, and we spent 4 or 5 days with you, something like that. Got a few more days to spend with you, and we just, hope we get to stay in touch with you and continue to learn about your life and how things are going on in your life. And again, we just want to wrap it up and give you one more chance if you want to say anything else before we go. And because you're going to get up early, I do want to say that she gets up at 3:30 in the morning. She starts hiking at 5 in the morning, and I've never met anyone that does that up till now. So it's changed a little bit about the way I work things around here, but it's fine, it's okay. And then she puts in big miles, 28, 29, miles a day, and I think tomorrow we're doing 23, or you doing 23. Anything about any of that you want to comment on, about how your mileage has worked out for you?
Well, I'm not actually a morning person.
That's hard to believe. I'm going to let you finish that, but I've thought about this. It takes a lot of discipline to get up at 3:30 in the morning. So how can you say you're not a morning person? Explain that.
Well, I'm just not. I like to sleep in normally. I like to sleep in. But when I'm out here, I feel better when I'm on the move. It's not that I'm trying to rush through the hike or anything, but part of the enjoyment for me is moving and making miles and making progress, and seeing that number go down every day of miles to Springer. And when I start at 5, it gives me maximum potential for the whole day. And it feels really good when it's 10 a.m. and I've got 10, 12, 13 miles under my belt already. Because then I can either stop really early when I get to 20 miles, or I can keep going and make more miles.
Okay. We're going to close it down, and we'll get something to eat and maybe do some other stuff enjoy meeting each other more. Thank y'all for watching, and keep watching for more to come real soon.